think the answer in the post-COVID world is that the sky's the limit, right? So I remember a year and a half ago, we were thinking of putting together a project with collaborators across the world. And, there are plenty of places that do that. And we've done that without like this whole COVID thing. But the point I'm trying to get at is it has been so much easier to do it because all these tools have gone better. So Zoom, the appreciation of Zoom, people being willing to do things via electronic format. So I think fostering team science, bringing the human element into it as much as possible. So meeting via Zoom, if you can, solicit people's attention, information from their backgrounds, from what you can gain from their social media pages, or things like search engines and PubMed. All of that is an excellent way to set yourself up such that when you're seeking a collaboration, there's interest from both ends. The other thing, just from a team science perspective, I would say that I've sought from online is, so for example, everybody talks about leadership. So I had been looking up leadership skills to how to put together a group, or how to inspire people, or how to inspire myself. And what I really, so I use tools like Harvard Business School's newsletter that they put out, or again, Twitter. So I use that as a professional tool a lot. So, and then in that process, I realized, well, it's actually not leadership at this point, it's people management skill. And there's this whole literature and tools available online that you can do that. And when I say online, it's not just about internet, Google searches, there's interactive webinars, there's, the Zoom call piece I talked about, there's community engagement studios. There's all these tools that you can use to understand the different aspects that go into a team science endeavor, and how to pull that off and get knowledge about it.
I think anything that relates to a shared, cloud space, whether it be for sharing documents, so I'm definitely not an expert. The tools are out there these days, but what's really been obvious, I think COVID has changed how we think about online tools quite significantly. Even something, dare I say it, like Zoom suddenly becomes, enables collaboration, because, you can very quickly get together and without a lot of overhead. It's just something we weren't doing enough of before. And now we've been forced into it, we're just probably not going to go back. So that's already, it's almost a given. I think, but there's different kinds of tools for different components, if you like, particularly time slices of the collaboration. So we use Teams, for example, as just a tool. It's almost like text messaging, but you have a record of in a way that's perhaps salient to how you're sitting in front of a screen all day. So, and of course from there you can go directly into a video or phone chat. So I think that there are those little slices of information you want to exchange with team members, and then you need the tools to expand those out, and you need tools that record elements of what you're doing, and also tools to actually discover new team members, and so on. I think and this is clearly, COVID has driven us a lot towards these kinds of things. So I'll give you an example, which is perhaps a little off base, but there are now these virtual rooms you can go into, and where you're an avatar, and you can actually find team members just by, if you were walking around a conference, except instead of just looking at someone in the eye and not knowing anything about them, suddenly now, and this of course has lots of ethical considerations, but a profile pops up as you walk past them in the shared virtual space, which tells you something about them and each other, and you could potentially communicate and create teaming in that way. So there's clearly, I think, major technological changes afoot based on the situation we found ourselves in the last year, which is going to be really, really game-changing.
I think there are all kinds of online tools that guide us in best practices for teams and best practices for collaboration and best practices for team science. But one of the online tools that I really like for people who are getting involved in any kind of teamwork is to think about the online tools that help with personality characteristics and preferences. So as many of you know, there are all kinds of tools out there that help people understand what their personality preferences are and how they communicate and how they manage conflict and how they tend to interact with a team. So some people may be more introverted while others are more extroverted. Some may be more interested in highly structured teamwork while others are not. And having an understanding of where you fall and that other people will be different from you, and appreciating the fact that that's the point of team science, is that we all bring something different and that that's valuable, I think can be important. So I think those online tools to understand your own preferences in working in a team can be very helpful.